All right, so for our next video, we are going to review properties of quadrilaterals. I wish you guys had these notes that we took at school because I think they're a great resource. It really just shows you everything that you need to know here. And so I'm going to go through this with you. So remember, all of these shapes are types of quadrilaterals. These are all special types of quadrilaterals. They all have 4 angles. They all total 360 degrees. All of these shapes have 4 sides. Quadrilaterals don't necessarily have symmetry, but some of these specific ones do. Remember, for symmetry, there's vertical symmetry, which is up and down. There's horizontal symmetry, which is left and right. And there's diagonal symmetry that connects opposite corners. So trapezoids are a special kind of quadrilaterals. For their angles, they could have 0 congruent angles. They could have 2 right angles or 2 90-degree angles, or they can have 2 sets of congruent angles. Either way, it's going to equal 360 degrees. The biggest thing that makes a trapezoid, it has one set of opposite sides that are parallel. Remember, we show parallel sides with using those little arrows. Parallel means they'll run on forever and ever and ever, and they'll never touch. And they can have one set of congruent sides, not always. If they have those congruent sides, that means that it is going to have vertical symmetry, or it could have no symmetry if none of the sides are the same. A parallelogram is like a rectangle that just kind of got leaned over. It still has 360 degrees total for its angles, but opposite angles here are congruent. You can kind of see it in that shape. Those opposite angles both have 1 line in them because they're the same. These angles have 2 lines in them because they're the same. Opposite sides are congruent and parallel. So that means that those 2 sides are the same and they're parallel. Those 2 sides are the same and they're parallel, but they do not have any symmetry for parallelograms. A rhombus is like a square that just got pushed over because all its sides are congruent. All the sides are the exact same. Opposite sides are also parallel. And then just like with the parallelogram, opposite angles are congruent. So those angles are the same and those angles are the same. It has 2 lines of symmetry and they're both the diagonal lines. For a rectangle, you guys know what a rectangle is. 360 total degrees in your shape. All of the angles here, though, are 90 degrees. Remember, opposite sides are congruent and parallel. It has 2 types of symmetry, vertical and horizontal. And then a square is like a rectangle and a rhombus came together and had a little baby because it has the characteristics of the angles of a rectangle. All of them are 90 degrees. The side lengths are the characteristics of a rhombus in that they're all congruent and the opposite sides are parallel. And it has both of their symmetries as vertical, horizontal, and both diagonal. Go ahead and I suggest if you need to pause this video right here so you can use it to help you on the notes, or if you can print it out to help you on the activity, go ahead and do that as well.